here in Kardec Radio. And we were having some technical difficulties with the sound. I just restarted, and I'm trying to figure out if you guys can hear me. I really don't know what is wrong today, but the microphone is here. And I'm gonna even put in my ear, but it doesn't need because I never really used like this. I just wanted to confirm if you guys can hear me, because if you still can't hear me, my ear, but it doesn't need yes. Because I never really used like this. It's working. I have sound on my cell phone. Okay, very good. At least I can see it's working now. I don't really know what happened, but with me, everything happens. We always have all kinds of technical difficulties, spiritual technical difficulties. So if that's your first time here, get used to it because it always happens with me. I have a mediumship that people say that can move things around, make sounds, and yes, and it can remove sounds too. I guess. Okay, let's leave the jokes apart. I already missed 15 precious minutes from our live study of tonight. So this is really bad. So if you haven't been here, I would welcome you to have a glass of water or a bottle of water, because the spirits, they always send the positive vibrations and energy to our water, and it becomes our medication for the week if you have a bottle. So at this moment, I just would like to invite you to have a quick prayer, and then we can start our study. Okay? Dear God, beloved Master Jesus, our guardian angels, thank you so much for the opportunity of being here together, studying, trying to improve ourselves, trying hard to become better people. And we know that study only is not enough. So we need to put in practice everything we learn in order to become a little bit better day by day. Please stay with us now and always. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good, my friends. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry, but medium of physical effects, everything can happen. So if this is your first time, this is our book, Among Brothers of Other Lands. And today we are studying chapter 25, as you can see there. Let me remove it now so it's not too much of a distraction for us. But I always read the text, and then please make your comments, and then we can comment together. This is a very short text. It's only one page and a little bit more. So it's good because we already missed 15 minutes from the beginning. I'm so sorry. So let's go. So chapter 25, uneasiness. The title is uneasiness. So uneasiness is like a discomfort. And the spirit who wrote the message is Valerio. I always like to talk about the spirits that write the message through the mediumship of Chico Xavier or Valdo Vieira, but in this case it was very difficult to find. I really couldn't find a lot of information about the spirit Valerio, but the message is beautiful anyway. So the message is: he was a robust and intelligent man. However, as soon as he amassed some money, he forgot about himself. No more meals on time in order to hunt more profit. No more peaceful sleep, as he was scared of burglary. No more ready hygiene, because he wasted long periods of time in search of the right financial hit. No more healthy distractions because he was afraid of spending. No more pure friendship. Once in every phase, he would see someone after his money. And the zealous man was so zealous that he did not think about anything else but his gold. One evening, he was alone when a storm drew him in an unexpected full river. While he was on his way to charge a debtor for a small, forgettable bill. And much before the assigned time, he appeared in court of death to get to know, crying that he passionately preserved the gold but lost himself. Observe the reason for his uneasiness. Be it house of money, position, or status, review your zeal and balance your conduct, because beyond God, which is life in our lives, no asset on earth can find value if you win everything but drown yourself. Silver Spring, July 10, 1965. So this is a very short text. The title is Uneasiness, and it's like a discomfort. So it shows us how some people behave. Imagine this man. He was a normal man, and then suddenly he got some money. Yes, maybe a lot of money. But the possession of this money for him brought him, instead of happiness, as a lot of people imagine, oh, if I win the lottery, I will be so happy. And it's not true. We don't know. There are so many cases that if you Google, you will see so many people that were very poor. They won the lottery. They became extremely, extremely rich. But then their lives changed totally. Some of them, unfortunately, lost everything and they became poor again. Others, they didn't become poor, but they lost everything they had. They lost their family. They lost their friends. Some even end up in a insane asylum. So money doesn't really bring happiness all the time as most of us think. Yes, money is very important. It's necessary. We need money to everything. We need money to pay our bills. We need money to be dressed, to survive. But we have to have money. The money cannot have us. So we will use money, but we cannot allow the money to use us or to change us. There is a book that is a book written by the spirit of Emmanuel. And he talks about money. The title of the book actually is Money. And this book is beautiful. It's a very short book with a bunch of texts, really good. And some of the texts explain how money is important, how money drives the society. But it shows also if you don't really focus on what money can bring to the goodness to you or to society, money can also destroy you and affect society in general. So when we know a person will reincarnate and one of their, like, how can I say, one of their tasks is to come as a very rich person, to be able to overcome problems in the past, because it was a person that was very attached to money and was sick about money. So this person went to the spiritual realm, study a lot about how to learn to detach from it and accept the difficult task to come back again, reach again. But in this time, this person would really strive to own the money, but don't allow the money to own him or herself. We know it's very difficult, but a lot of people are able to do it. A lot of people are able to use it in a beautiful way to help so many other people. They help the society. We can think about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he came from a very poor family, very simple family, but he was a brilliant mind. Since little kid, he was an entrepreneur, unbelievable. If you can go to YouTube and watch some of the videos that were done about his life, his childhood, Warren Buffett, you will understand what I'm talking about. He had this energy since little kids to sell everything, to think about things that he could do. And he is a millionaire, millionaire, like a lot of people are millionaires nowadays, but he is a billionaire and extremely charitable, He thinks so much about the others. The last time I read something about him, he was still living in the same house, the first house he bought, in the same location, very simple, very humble, very, like, you can't believe a man that is so rich is still living in the same 2-bedroom that he owned forever. And his best friend is Bill Gates. Bill Gates, another man that also came from humble family, simple starts, and a brilliant mind, and was able to create an empire, but never really allowed the money to own himself. Bill Gates was always thinking about society, always thinking how to help. And he is married to a woman that is also extremely charitable. So they both together, they work in so many institutions to help countries in Africa. They created so many things that I can't really waste our precious time talking about Bill Gates, but I'm a big fan of him and his wife, and they are working very hard now in our time of COVID-19, because they have also laboratories that they are funding, and they are searching, really desperate, searching if it's possible to have a vaccine. So these 2 examples are just examples to teach us that money is not something bad. The thing is that what we do when we have it. Imagine yourself if tomorrow you get $1 billion. This is so much money. What would you do? We always start saying, oh, I would do this, I would do that, I would do that. It's actually fun to think about it. I had thought about this sometimes. I'm like, oh, I would do this and this and this and this. But you also start thinking about the problems, because, you know, who have a lot of money have a lot of problems. And another thing that we can also compare, like a little bit similar to money, is fame. People that are famous, they also have the same issues. Like when people start a little famous, it's exciting, you know. It's like, oh, I'm being recognized. Oh, look, that person knows who I am. So it's exciting. But then when the person start getting a lot of famous, then a lot of people start getting bothered. Imagine, like, they are eating in a restaurant with their family, and then there are paparazzi, or there are fans that are taking pictures of them. They lose their privacy. They can't walk on the streets anymore. They have to hide themselves. And also have the other issue, like they can't do like us, wake up in the morning and just walk to the street with the dogs. No, because if a paparazzi take a picture of them, especially if it's a woman with a messy hair, without makeup, they always show on the newspapers, look how ugly she is. And we know that the media is very painful for the people that need the media to survive. So we have to think about all these things. Many times we wish so much something for ourselves without really thinking of all the consequences. And this exactly point we are going to be talking about in the gospel today. Today we are going to be studying a passage of Lacordaire, and he talks exactly about it. He gives an example of a story of a very poor, humble girl that sees the beautiful rich women passing full of jewelry with beautiful dresses, and she wishes she could be in their position. So stay with us so you can hear this story in a few minutes. So continue here. You can see that he mentions my lovely dogs arrived. So he mentions how difficult it can be. He talks about the everything in his life that he switched, that he used to do and he stopped. So very simple things. No more meals on time. Oh my God, Jensen, please, can you take the dogs? Sorry, guys, my house is always some kind of adventure. So he talks about no more peaceful sleep. He's always scared of burglary. So these are the things that start changing. So when we are simple, when we are humble, we don't have these problems. We don't have these issues. I don't know if I laugh or if I cry with the dogs. I have a little, wild, annoying dog and a gigantic wolf that's crazy. So, no more pure friendship. So this is one of the things that the famous people mention too. Famous people, they always say that a lot of people approach them because they want to be involved with them. They want to be on TV. They want to get into their fame. The same thing with rich people. Oh, you know, I'm going to befriend that rich guy or that rich lady, so maybe I start going to fancy parties or whatever kind of advantage. So it's very difficult to these people really identify their new friends, if they are real friends or if they are just taking advantage of their situation. So it's very hard to people. But in this specific case, you can see this man, he was absolutely possessed by the gold. He changed his life because of it. He consumed his life thinking about how to get more and more and more. And as you can see, he was also stingy, because it says that he was only thinking about accumulating, keeping more, having more. So unfortunately, he was feeding into this desire of money, of power, of gold. So this is something really, really bad that he could not change. He could not get rid of it. And then he shows, and much before the assigned time, meaning he could have a longer life, but he didn't. He appeared in the court of death to get to know, crying that he passionately preserved the gold, but lost himself. So he died earlier. And then observe the reasons for his uneasiness. The last paragraph says, "Be it house of money, position or status, review your zeal and balance your conduct. Because beyond God, which is life in our lives, no asset on earth can find value if you win everything but lose, drown yourself. So this is true. So if you lose yourself in the search of a gold, or in the desire of having more gold, and it doesn't need to be gold, as I mentioned, it could be something else, could be power, could be beauty. So how many people we see, and sometimes they are also famous and they are also rich, but they are slaves of youth. So they think they can be young forever, and it's not possible. It's not possible. We will all get old. I understand that the people that live from their beauty, live from their appearance, people that work on TVs, movie actors, this is much more difficult for them because this is one of their tools. Their beauty is what brought them to be so famous. Yes, of course, their talent too, but the beauty is something very connected with it. So for them, it's even harder. It's even more difficult. But we have to understand the importance of a balance in everything we do, in everything. So one thing is like, okay, someone does some surgery on a nose, I don't know, they have some problem. That's good. But the danger is, oh, do the nose, then do the eye, then do the cheek, then do this, then do that, then do that. When you see that person is a different person, is totally different than what that person was. And of course, the age will come anyway. So it's very important for us to love ourselves. As I always say, you have to love yourself with your perfections and imperfections. We are all imperfect. We all have our issues here and there, physically or spiritually. But that's why we're here. We are here trying to boost our spirit, trying to improve, trying to be a little bit better. So I want to, hello, Saul, I didn't even see you here. Hello, Stella da Costa. Very nice to see you. I think it's your first time here. Yes, I had tough problems today with my microphone. This was actually the third time I restarted. This was like crazy. So this is very important for us to understand. And many times I think, oh, you know, my life could be so different. In the past, many years ago, 1,000 years ago, I was an actress. So I worked on TV in Brazil. Yes, I did a few soap operas, few participations, and it was super fun. Was really good. And as you can see, I'm very bubbly. So it was natural for me to do it, but it's not an easy world to work. It's not an easy world to live and to have a career. So everybody knows, to the majority of the actors and actresses, is a very unstable profession, very difficult to thrive. There are thousands and thousands of young people doing it every day, but there are so many talent people, so many talent people. But nowadays, when I think about it, when I think if I had gone through that, and of course I always joke, can you imagine if I was famous and if I had problems to walk on the street, if I had problems to do this, problems to do that? Of course, lots of wonderful things would have happened, but you know, it's not easy. Anything we do in life, it's not easy. Our own professions, whatever you're studying, whatever you are going through right now. But from everything, whatever we are is the best thing that could have happened to us. Even with our problems, with our issues, maybe financial difficulties, maybe health difficulties, family difficulties. So all these things, they don't happen without a reason, you know. We know there is a reason for everything. We are always learning, we are always improving, but we are also being tested. The incarnation, reincarnate on Earth, it's a big test. We know the planet Earth is evolving. Soon it's going to become a regeneration planet, but right now we still feel like the trials and expiations. So that's it. We are here. We are all here going through our own trials and our expiations. But if you are here, if you study Spiritism, if you're trying to improve yourself, this is already a very, very positive side, because what a blessing. What a blessing for me and for you, because we were able to discover Spiritism and to join it. And the Spiritism brought so much light to our lives. We were able to discover things that people have no idea. Many times I talk to friends who are not religious or who don't really think about the spirituality at all. And they start discussing about death because, you know, coronavirus came to shake the life of everyone. And as I always say, when everything is good, you don't think about things that are more evolved, more spiritual. When everything is good, you only think about having fun, going to the beach, going to the park, having parties, meeting your friends. Life is just that. But when things change, when you get sick, when you get unemployed, when someone that you really love has a very tough disease, then you are shaking. Then you stop. Then you start thinking about what you never thought before. Then you are going to really start searching for people that really love you. Maybe that mother that you always had issues, but whenever you have a problem, you talk to her and she will help you. That's the person you're going to search for. So I always say, like, good friends, you count in the hands of one hand. Some people say, oh, I have 3,000 friends on, I don't know, Facebook. No, you have acquaintances. You have 3,000 acquaintances. But whenever you have a problem, you cannot call those 3,000 acquaintances because they are not going to even answer you. When you have a serious problem, you will think and you will find maximum 5 people that you're going to say, yes, this one, if I call, will help me. So these are things that we have to think and to cherish. So right now, it's a time that we are more isolated. We are calmer in our home without hundreds of events. I'm talking for myself. I'm talking for myself. When we had our normal lives, my agenda was like super busy. Every weekend I had so many things to do that I had to coordinate. But now we don't have anything to do, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. But now I use my weekend in a different way. I enjoy video calling my friends, and you know, my friends that live nearby and my friends that live far away. Because we all have friends that live far from us, but they are really close to our hearts. And yes, we send WhatsApp messages, but it's so different than when you call, when you talk. It's really beautiful. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. Think about one person that you really miss and give a quick call. Don't be like, oh, I have to schedule a time to call. No, don't say that, because you are going to end up not calling. Do you remember when we just picked up the phone? and we called our friends without scheduling anything, spontaneous. And more, I remember when I used to go to my friend's house without scheduling anything. This is scheduling thing. It's very Americans. Americans, they are very organized, so they like to schedule things. They like, oh, I'm gonna go to Angie's house, so let me call to see if she has a time between 10 and 10:30, so I don't bother her. But you know, spontaneous things are so good, so beautiful. And when we really like someone, we don't care what time they are gonna call or show up. We're so happy. So right now we cannot show up in anybody's house, but we can show up with our FaceTime, with our video WhatsApp, or Zoom meetings. Do it. Do it, because you're gonna be so much happier. It's such a blessing to cultivate the people that we really love, because what we take to the spiritual realm is everything we acquired spiritually, intellectually, morally. None of these physical things, clothes, gold, nothing, money, nothing. Even the power and the fame, no, it's nothing when you go to the spiritual realm. So let's cherish what is very, very important. And with that, let's go to the Gospel According to Spiritism. Such a beautiful and important book. Guys, I think something is happening, because on my phone, I see many different names, but here I don't see anything. So I can't even say your names. I only see Saul. I think Saul is the only one. But on my phone, I see there is Matthew, there's Carla, but I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so as I mentioned before about the Spirit Lacordaire. So I actually would like to show this to you. Let me see if you can see it. This is the page, the Wikipedia of Lacordaire. So Lacordaire is a French ecclesiastic. So he's a priest, but he's a very powerful orator. He can really talk beautifully. So when we finish, I will put his Wikipedia in our Facebook page, so you can actually read and understand a little bit more about Lacordaire. So like last week I said, he had one message of many pages. So today I'm gonna finalize his message. We are in chapter 7. The title is Blessed Are the Poor in Spirit. And the message that I was mentioning before about the young poor lady is the message that I want to read so you can understand. So he says like this: "And you, young maiden, poor child, given to work and privation, why such sad thoughts? Why do you weep? Lift your gaze, pious and serene, to God, who provides food to the little birds. Trust in him, and he will not abandon you." It's a very long message, but he is telling her, don't cry, don't desire so many things that might not be good for you. And God provides to you, God helps you and feeds you. And then he continues a little bit down here. "If you knew how many tears and nameless sorrows are hidden beneath those embroidered dresses, how many sobs are muffled under the noise of that joyous orchestra, you would prefer your humble solitude and your poverty. Keep yourself pure in God's eyes if you do not want your guardian angel to return to him, hiding its face with its white wings and leaving you to your remorse. without a guide, without support. This world where you will be lost, waiting to be punished in the next. So punished is a very strong word that we don't really like to use, because God did not punish us for anything. We suffer because of our guilty conscience. Everything that makes us to suffer is because our conscience, we had done something to affect it. So it's not a God that is punishing some people and favoring other people. But it's us. We understand that we reincarnated many, many times. We had many, many lives. And as I always say, our previous lives were never better than this one. So in this time, you are the best of all your lives. So every time we go back, we were worse and worse and worse. Because every time we come back, we learned a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit, we improved. So imagine in this time we are here, we are studying the gospel, we are studying the teachings of Jesus, trying to be able to live them, trying to be able to fulfill them. But imagine, maybe 2,000 years ago, in the time of when Jesus was here, more than 2,000, when Jesus was here, we were the same people that instead of following Jesus, trying to touch him, trying to follow his teachings, now we were the ones that taking the stones and throwing. Yeah, it's very hard to think about it, but it's totally possible. Because if in the time of Jesus, we were already following his teachings, we wouldn't be here right now. We would be so much better, so much more evolved. And imagine about yourself. You know, we think we are good people, but sometimes when people hurt us really bad, we feel angry. And imagine if something terrible happened. Imagine something murder someone you love. Would you be able to forgive? It's very difficult. It's very difficult for us just to imagine something like that. So what I'm saying is that we are the best version of our lives. And hopefully we will be improving faster. And it all depends on us. It all depends on our free will. We need to make good usage of our free will so we can improve faster. So continue with his message. He continues here. Oh dear God, must Christ come a second time to earth to teach human beings your laws, which they have forgotten? Will he once more have to expel the merchants from the temple as they defile your house, which is a place of prayer only? And who knows, how humankind, if God were to grant you such a grace, perhaps you would reject it as before. You would call him a blasphemer, for he would humiliate the pride of modern Pharisees. Perhaps you would make him take up the road of Golgotha once again. So here is he is thinking, Lacordaire is thinking, all humanity, if God was good enough to send Jesus again to live on earth among yourselves, to teach the good examples, would you trust him? Would you understand him again? Probably no. Probably we would be the young Pharisees again. Very hard, very hard. And then he continues. Christ left his doctrine. He provided you with an example of all the virtues, and you have forsaken his examples and the precepts. And it's true. It is true. God gave Jesus to us, and Jesus gave to us his beautiful teachings. I know there are lots and lots of different religions. Even the Christian religions are divided in so many different sects. But if you take the moral teachings of Jesus, those teachings, they are accepted by all religions, and even no religion, because everything Jesus taught us, that was good and was beautiful. And many of these things are very hard, as I just mentioned, forgiveness. Sometimes it's so hard for us to forgive a little thing, to forgive a person that was having a bad day and told us something bad or something that was not really nice, and immediately we take that person and we push away. We're like, nah, I don't need this anymore, bye. And not just pushing the person away, but keeping that resentment within us. Oh, that person, I don't even like to hear his name. And the person is not a bad person. But unfortunately, that day, he was having a bad day, and he was very harsh, and maybe he is very proud. So he also knows he was ignorant. He was not friendly. He was like bad towards you. But he is proud to not go to you and say, listen, you know, that day you asked me about whatever. I'm so sorry. I was not really nice. I was having a bad day. I'm so sorry. I really would like to apologize. But he doesn't feel like doing it, so he also keeps distant, and you already put him somewhere else. So you start losing possible friendships. But it's not just that. You start acquiring grudges, because it's very hard for us, like when something like that, but you put the person away and forgive the person. You know, because if you could do this, push, but forgive the person, to think like, you know, it's okay. He probably is not having a good day. I'm not going to be bothered with this. And whenever you meet him, you act normal again. You say, hey, how are you? Good. But most of us, we can't do that. Most of us are like, next time I see him, I will pretend I'm not seeing him. And next time you meet, you're like, you go away. And then, you know, we start, instead of building more and more friendships, we start destroying the little ones we have. And this is just an example. There are so many things that can happen, and things that become worse, because this is just an example of one little problem that happened and brought to this situation. What about things that start getting worse and worse and worse, and boom, and they explode in a very bad way? Last week we were reading about the man who had a very fancy furniture from his grandmother that was of his mother, and the two sisters were fighting for the furniture, and in the end the husbands, they shot themselves because of material possession. So this is something that can escalate. They can get worse. So we have to think about and try to avoid it. You know, use the water that André Luiz taught us in the book Nosso Lar. Let's put that blessed water in our mouths, and when we receive an insult, let's try to not give back. Because if you give back, you are being nasty as the same person is being nasty to you. And we don't want to be like that. We don't want to act like that. So the last message before we go to the item 13 is from the Spirit Adolfo, Bishop of Argel, and the message was written in Marmande, 1862. Ooh, 1 minute. You know, we are not going to have time to, because I just wanted to make a few comments, but we are not going to have time. So I will comment next week. But right now, I just want to invite you to prepare to do our final prayer. And as most of you know, every single day at 10 p.m., doesn't matter where I am in the house, with whom is with me, I take that person and I close my eyes for 1 minute. I do a prayer for the planet and for our whole humanity, for me, for you, for everybody. So I would like to invite you to do this right now. We do it together. Me here and you guys in your home, or all of you that are listening to this later on, you can start doing it. Just put on your cell phones, put a 9:59, so at 10 p.m. we can start praying together. Okay? Dear God, Jesus, our brother, all our guardian angels, all the spirits that protect and guard our homes, our cities, states, countries, this beautiful planet. At this moment, we would like to ask all of you to shower upon us your loving light, your loving energy, protecting us, giving us strength to go through these difficult times, giving us positiveness so we can help each other. When someone is not feeling as good, we can help the other, but we can also be helped. Master, give us the solidarity that we need to have in order to help others. So many other people are going through situations worse than ours. Even if at this moment you are going through a difficult time, think about the others that don't have a home, don't have family. They might don't have even food to eat. Please, God, we know that we are your kids, we are learning. But at this time, we would like to ask your blessings, not just for us, but to all those others who don't have anything, who need so much, to the ones that live on the streets, to the ones in hospitals, that they are so afraid, to their elderly who are in the nursing homes, without the visit of anyone, longing for their family or friends. Protect all of us in this beautiful blue planet. Help us to learn the important lessons that you stopped this planet for it, and help us to understand how we can improve. And please stay with us now and always. Thank you so much. So be it. So my friends, thank you so much for being patient and being here with us. I had so many interruptions today that you deserve the Oscar for staying with us tonight. Crazy. But thank you so much. And I just would like to, let me see, I didn't even read anything. Oh, I just see messages here. Nora Brazil. Hello, Nora. Mark Carlos. So Mark said, whoops, my mouse is not even working. So Mark said, thank you, Angie. Thank you, Angie, for today's message. Today is the last day of my traditional working life. Tomorrow, I am full-time employee of Spiritism, the blessing of retirement I could never have foreseen. Oh my God, wow, retirement. This is really good. And yes, Mark, as you just said, you are a full-time employee of Spiritism. So work, remember, work. And work for the betterment, not just of you, but to everybody. So we start studying really hard, and maybe you can also have a podcast. You can have something to spread the good news. And my dear all, thank you so much for tonight, and have a blessed weekend. And I hope to see you guys next Thursday for more emotions. We never know. Mwah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.